Power Query. Basically, Power Query is a Microsoft tool with the help of which you can automate lots of your tasks. Like if you get a messy data from the internet and if you want to clean up, you might be using lots of formula. Now with the help of Power Query, you can just click on a button and all the data is clean. If you have multiple sheets and if you want to combine multiple sheets, Power Query is the solution. In a folder, if you have multiple files of different countries or different products or different salespeople, and if you want to combine, Power Query is the right solution for you. You don't have to write big formulas. You don't have to use macros. You just have to select the folder, select the option. Excel will see all the available files and will combine everything and will give you one beautiful, nice looking sheet on which you can do the pivot table and other formulas. If you have a format problem in the date, means if your date is in a text format, how do you convert into the right format? So fixing date is very easy in Power Query. We are also going to learn how do you combine first name and last name without using a formula. If you wanted to remove blank rows or blank columns, Power Query is the solution. So lots of interesting things can be done with the help of Power Query. So let's start with the practical. Data in Excel, and if you wish to combine first name and last name, how do you combine? You normally insert a column and you use a formula equal concatenate, or you say equal B2 and C2. Now you don't have to use a formula. What you have to do is just put the cursor inside the data and we go to the data tab. So this is my data tab, and in that you have to search for this area where it is written get and transform data. In get and transform data, you have to click on from table. So I will click on from table over here. As soon as you click on it, it will ask you a small dialog box where he will request you to convert your data into table. So you just have to say, okay, what this option is going to do is it is going to convert your data into the table. So if your data has a header, this is a header, make sure you check it on my table has a header, and you just say okay. As soon as you say okay, you see a data has been converted into a table mode, and now a new blank fresh screen has come, and the name of this editor is Power Query Editor, which you can see on the top of the screen. So this is a fresh new window which you are seeing first time, and this is a place where you will be doing all the transformation, all the changes. You will be cleaning all your data. So what was our first task? I wanted to combine first name and last name. So how do we combine? Let's get started. So I will click on the first name over here, and then I will press shift and I will click on last name. So you have selected both the columns because you wanted to combine these both columns. Or you can even do this way. Click on the first name, this is the heading on this, and press shift, that is your shift key, and press right arrow key. You can do this way also. After selecting both the columns, here you will go to transform. So this is your transform tab, and in transform tab you will see a option merge column. You will even see when you go to the add column, in this also you will see a merge column. What this will do, this will create a new column in which first name and last name will be combined. But as of now, I don't want to add a new column. I wanted to combine this both the column. So you will click on transform and you will click on merge column. This is the option. I click on it, and as soon as you click on it, you will get one dialog box where he will ask you, hey, What is a delimiter? Means between first name and last name, what you need. So as a separator, I will say I need colon, comma, equal. No, I need a space. So between first name and last name, I need a space. New column name, and it's a optional. It will give the name as a merged, but no, I wanted to name it as a full name. As soon as I say OK, this both the columns will be combined and it will give you one column with the name full name, and here you go. You see, a full name has been, column has been created and the first name and last name has been combined. Now what, friends? After you combine, you have to exit from this screen, because you were there in the Excel screen, you clicked on from table, you came in the Power Query editor, you made some changes. Now you have to go out, correct? So over here you will click on the File tab, and over here you get an option Close and Load. What this option will do is it will take this data again into a new fresh Excel sheet. It will create a new sheet for you. So I click on Close and Load, and here you will see a new sheet will be added in which your first name and last name is combined. Interesting. So this was just the start to give you the idea how we can do a basic task in Power Query. Yes, we are going to do more complex scenario, but as soon as our lesson progresses, I will explain you in more detail. So I want you to quickly open this file, practice it with the video or after seeing the video, and then only go for the next session. Best of luck and see you in the next video. We have opened an Excel sheet on which we have worked previously, and we had combined first name and last name. I hope you remember in our previous video. So this was the area, means this is the ribbon data, and in this you have this option Get and Transform Data. So wherever you see Get and Transform Data, it means that is a Power Query tab. In previous version, means in Excel 2010 and 13 version, this was not there. So you have to separately install the add-in of Power Query. But from Excel 2016, it is coming as by default. So basically this is a data tab, and in which you have this. So let's get started. So I will click on From Table Range over here, and my Power Query editor will open. So let's take 2 minutes in getting the overview of that. So when you open this Power Query editor, you get 5 columns. You have File, in which you have Close and Load, or you wanted to load it in some separate sheet, or you want to do the only connection to it. I will explain you that step by step when we'll go ahead. Then you have a Home tab, and in which you have lots of options, like you have a merge query, append query, keep rows. Lots of options are available. The main tab will be the Transform tab, from where we will be doing lots of transformation. Transformation means changing, means cleaning your data. Like we will use the Format option, we will use the Split option, we will use the Merge column option. We have a Add column ribbon. Here also you have lots of option, and one important option ribbon is your View tab. So basically whatever you do in Power Query, it is repeated over here. Not repeated means it shows what is done. Like when I opened this file, so it took the source, then on his own he changed the change type. Now whatever action I will be doing over here, for example if I say split cell, so that action of split cell will come over here, and then I can remove it, I can change the sequence of it. So I can do lots of things over here. Sometimes this query setting does not see over here. So if I click on a X option over here, it gets closed. Now you will not see what you all are doing. So for that you have to go to the View tab, and there you have an option Query Setting, very important option. So when I click on Query, setting, it will open it. So whatever action you will be doing, it will be showing. Let me show you one, give you one idea. So if I click on full name and if I go to the transform, and let's say if I say for example split, for example, and I say by delimiter, we will be doing this option in detail, but just to give you the idea. So now this split action I am doing, it will be showing you over here, and I just say OK, and you will see split column by delimiter option has come over here. So what now if I don't want that, so if I click on the X, it will go. If I click on the X, again it will become normal. So this was just an overview of Power Query Editor. And again, if you want to come out back from here, you can go to the File tab and you can say close and load, and again you will be back to your Excel sheet. So this was just a quick overview of what is all about the Power Query Editor. So now the next lesson which we will be seeing, we will be doing again a new practical. So I hope you understood what is the Power Query Editor and how we go into the Power Query Editor, that is from the Data tab, and you can click on From, Table and Range, and it opens the Power Query Editor. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. Without using a formula, we can use a Power Query to do that. So let's see how do we do that. The first step is I will click on any of the cell over here, and then I will go to the Data tab, and here I will click on From Table Range. If you remember our previous video, that was lesson number 2, in which we have already combined first name and last name. But now the problem is over here, somewhere you have capital, somewhere you have small, somewhere again you have both the character capital. Here you have Yateen as capital. So I wanted to clean it. So how do we clean this? So I will go to the Data tab and I will click on From Table Range, and my Power Query Editor will open. So here remember, in the second lesson we had seen of the combining. So over here this one we had already combined. Okay. So now what we will be doing is we will be selecting this column, and I wanted to convert it into the small letters or first letter capital. So I will go to the Transform tab. This is a Transform tab. I will go to the Format over here, and you get different types of cases: lower, upper and capitalized each word. Can you recall if this options are there in Excel? No, it's not there. You have to use a formula for that. Yes, in MS Word it's present, but in Excel you have to use a formula. But here in Power Query it's ready. So as soon as I click on capitalized each word, your first character will become capital. Wow. And over here he has repeated that step name also, that you have done capitalized each word step. Got it? So now what will be the next step? I have to exit from here. But here you will see something new, and I will explain you about that. You have to little bit understand that concept. I click on a file and I say close and load. Now friends, when I click on close and load, what it is going to do is it is going to create a separate sheet, that is table number 2. And he has created a separate query. So actually what it should have done, he should have updated in my table 1 only. Agree? So why it happened? Because I went to the data and again I clicked on this. Whereas actually what I should have done is I should have come on my this query and I should have said edit. This I will show you in the next video how this concept works. However, in this video, even if you have learned that how do you convert your capital to small, small to capital, that is sufficient. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. Here is the data on which we have practiced last time. If you remember, we had combined first name and last name with the help of Power Query. So what we had done was we had gone to the data and we had clicked on from table and range, and your Power Query editor had opened, correct? However, in this video we will be doing little different, because when you go to the data and click on from table, so what is going to happen is it will again create a new query and will give you a separate sheet for that. No, I wanted to do editing in this query only. It means when I do the changes in Power Query and when I come outside, it should be applied on this one sheet only. So how do we do that? So to do that, the first step is you will go to the data, and here is the option connection and queries, that is queries and connections. So I click on it, and on the right hand side this will open. If it is already open, good. If it is not, then you can quickly go to the data and click on queries and connection. So it will show you the query. So now this is our table 1, and this is a table 1, and this is my query. So you see how I will do it. I will just bring my cursor on this query. No need of clicking. Just bring the cursor like this, and it will display something on the left hand side, and then you come on the left hand side and here you get delete a query, and over here you even get another option, that is your edit query. Means on this query you came and you are saying edit, so it will edit this same query. So now when I go to the Power Query, now you see Power Query window is opening. It will take some 1, 2, 3 seconds sometime, and you will see these actions we had already done. Merge column, we had done full name. Now it will be added over here another column. If I would have took data table, it would have created a new query and new sheet it would have generated. I hope you all are getting what I'm trying to say is. So now over here my intention is to convert this into the first character capital. This also I had done. So here I wanted to fill the blank rows, means blank cells, not the rows entire. So over here I have a nationality, and why not I zoom it. So if you want to zoom in Power Query, this is a beautiful shortcut which you should know. Control Shift plus. Wow, it is increasing. Control Shift plus, it is increasing. Amazing. So remember, and again Control Shift minus, it will decrease. Control Shift minus, it will decrease. Interesting. So I click on nationality, and what is my intention over here is in this null cell I want to fill this Syria. So this Syria I wanted to fill it over here. This Egyptian I wanted to fill it over here. This UAE I wanted to fill it down. This can be one option. You can have other option also which we use very rare. Let's say you want to go opposite, like this India. You want to fill it in all the above cell. Or here is the Syria, you want to go opposite. Or over here you have Egyptian and you want to fill in all this cell. So it can be both the way. So I click on nationality. If you want to do in Excel, you have to select the column, you have to select the blank cell, then you have to put the formula. Here you don't have to do anything. Just click on nationality, go to the transform tab, and in transform you get an option fill. This is your option, transform fill, and I click on the fill, and over here you get two options, so up or down. So I click on fill down, so Syria will be filled downwards. Amazing. And over here he has filled Egypt also, and UAE as well. Got it? Let's give it a try one more, and you see this again, a new step has come, fill down. But if you will observe now the next step, again I am doing a fill down. I am not doing some new step, like I am not merging a cell, I am not splitting a cell, I am not grouping it. I am just doing the same action again but on another column. Let's see what happens over here. So if I click on marital status, and again if I say fill down, you see it will fill married, but he has not created a new step because it's a same step but on different columns. So it will not create another step for you. So when I come on fill down over here, and over here you will see on this column he has put this code. When I come on nationality, and again if I click on this, and over here it will show me for the nationality as well. So this way basically you can fill the cell, friends. Now what is the next step? Now you should remember, now you have to exit from this. So I click on the file option and I click on close and load. Do you know what is going to happen? It is not going to create a new sheet. It will be edited, it will be applied in the table 1 sheet only, that is this. So now if you will see, this is going to fill. Amazing. So you see a new table has not been created. Why? Because I came over here and I said edit in the same query. This concept you should understand very thoroughly. If you understand this concept, you are good to go ahead. Otherwise, I request you to see this video once again, practice it, and then only go ahead. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. Here in this, if you will see, I have a J column passport number and my requirement is to separate it. Over here in separating there is one challenge. So if you are good in Excel and if you already know this option, how do you separate, you will say, Ramzan, we can use text to column and we will take a fixed digit. But what about this? Here you have 3 characters in the start, but here you have 5 characters in the start. How do you separate that in Excel? It's really not easy. It's very challenging. You search on a Google, you have to see big formulas. You have to understand it and then only you can separate non-digit to digit. However, in Power Query is just on a click of a button. Let's see. So the first step will be, I will go on this table. Why I am going on this table? Because I have already a query on it. Otherwise, I had to go to the data and click on from table. As you know, now you will be just coming on this first query, table 1, and you will click on edit. When I click on the edit option, it will open a Power Query over here. And in this Power Query, I will go to the right side where I have a passport number. Let me zoom it little bit more. What is the shortcut for zooming? Control Shift Plus. So I have pressed Control Shift Plus and it has zoomed. And now I wanted to change this. So I will select the passport number and I will go to the transform. And in transform, we should search an option that is from non-digit to digit separation. And that is your splitting means. So I click on split. And over here you get by delimiter, by number of character, by position, lower to upper, upper to lower. Lots of options are there which you can try. However, my concern is over here by non-digit to digit, because in starting I have a non-digit. Digit means numbers and non-digit means like ABCD. So I click on this and it has separated. Wow! So here is my non-digit and here is my digit. So if you will observe very carefully, here there were 3 digits, he has separated, and here is the 5. This is important. Otherwise, if it would have been only 3 digit, it would have been done in Excel in very easily by using text to column and select the fixed width. But for this type of challenging scenario, Power Query is the option. Let me show you one more time over here the opposite example. And when I go a little bit more ahead, I have another column with the name New Passport Number. Again, I click on it. See, whatever action I did, he is creating a steps over here. So first I did the merge, then I did the fill step. So all the steps he is creating for me. Yes, if you want to delete, you can just delete it and again it will become like undo. How do we do in the Excel? So over here I have a digit and then I have a non-digit. So you will use the same option. You will click on it. You will go to the transform. You will go to the split and over here you get an option by digit to non-digit. Just click on it and your work is done. And here you go. Now, after you have done, what is the next step? Naturally, you have to exit from the Power Query Editor. How do you exit from Power Query Editor? You go to the File tab and you click on Close and Load. And you will be back to your Excel sheet in the same query, means in the same table 1. Why not? I go and see. Wow, so this was J and K. And should I go on the right hand side? And over here I have separate digit to non-digit. And let me make it zoom little bit small. And here you go. So this way, friends, you can clean the data. So we combined first name and last name. We cleaned up first character capital. Then we filled the blank rows. And now we have separated non-digit to digits and digits to non-digits. More interesting practical we will see as soon as our lesson progresses. Thank you so much. Make sure you open this file, practice and then go for the next video. See you in the next video. Thank you so much. Was your data original, in which you remember we combined first name and last name. We cleaned all this from first letter capital. We did fill the blanks. We did everything and the result came in table 1. If you have seen my previous video, you will be able to relate what I am saying. If you have not seen the previous video, this is going to be challenging for you. So on this data, I did a Power Query. Means I went to the data, I went to from table, I did some changes, transformation, and then I got the final result over here. Clear everybody till here? So now when I go to the last record of this by pressing Ctrl and down arrow key, I can see I have a record till row number 1000, means total 1000 records I have. And in my this data also I have 1000 records. Agree? Now you are on the same page. Now you see what happens. Now let's say after few days you got some additional records. And again you got that messy data, means this data you got, wherein you have the name of a people, it is in capital and it is a separate. Again this is in small letter and again it is separate, first name and last name. Here you have blank rows, blank cells which needs to be filled. Here you want to separate passport number. So now will you repeat the Power Query again? No, you won't repeat. What you will be doing is you will be copying this data which you have got extra. You will not copy the heading, just extra data which you have got, and you will go to your sheet and over here you will put a cursor. And over here you will say Ctrl V for paste. But remember one very important thing. When I paste, then this also should be in a table format. Because this is in a table format, so this also should be in a table format. So now when I come over here in the end of the column, over here I see a blue color tick mark. It means it's in a table format. If I bring this up, it means now this is not in a table format. So in case if you find this problem, don't worry. You come on the corner and just drag it down this blue color mark and it will come under the table. Got it? Now I'm going to show you the magic. So now over here you see you have first name and last name. This is blank. This is combined. And you have already done the Power Query. So you will just go to the table 1 and what you will do? You can right click on it and you will say refresh. So what this will do, it will go to the HR data 1 and will see the new data and will go to the Power Query, and what are the steps we have done in Power Query, it will repeat again like a macro. and I click on refresh, and wow, your data is coming over here, and within few seconds you will see your data will be here. Wow. So do you see your data is over here? Amazing. You see this has been filled, this has been combined, yeah. But yes, this has not become the first character capital. I don't know if you remember, because for this we had created a table too in which it was done. So hence only the effect of converting case he has not took, otherwise everything he has took. So the intention of this video, this tutorial, was to show you after you do a Power Query, and in future if you get extra data, don't worry, just copy the data, paste it in your original sheet, come on a table which you have got from the Power Query, right click and say refresh. But if you want to go a little bit more ahead in this video and little bit more advanced, I can show you one more interesting thing over here, and that is the concept of auto refresh. So what even you can do is you can bring your cursor over here, means in this table 1, and you go to the data, and in data you get one option, properties. I click on properties over here. So here you can see data formatting. You have some setting, external data property, preserve the column, sort, filter, preserve cell, means when you are updating everything, so it should be the format, column width and everything should be same. It's something like in the pivot table. And if you go over here, there is an option query. There is a query, and in this also you have a property, but this property is different. This property is different. This is a property of queries. So we go to the query and I click on property, and over here you get one option, refresh every. So I click on this checkbox and I say, hey, refresh in 1 minute. It means, and you can even click on refresh data when opening a file. Lovely. And I say okay. So now what is going to happen is, whenever you will insert a new data over here, so I say copy, and if I just paste the data over here, and then when I come over here after 1 minute, it will auto refresh. It means here this name Akalmash Vengai Bhushan Sudhir, automatically it will come, but we have to wait for 1 minute. So let's wait for 1 minute, and instead of doing right click and refresh, I'm not doing anything, and you see within few seconds your data from here will be populated on his own, because we have done a setting of 1 minute. So let's wait and see. So in this tutorial we have covered two things: adding the additional data, how do you do the refresh, and how do you do the setting for 1 minute. And I hope you observed it. Here all your data is there. This is a concept of auto refresh. So I hope you like this video and you have increased your knowledge. Make sure you practice and then go for the next video. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. I have a file with the name country sales data. These files will be there in your folder for the practice. So I have multiple country sheets over here. So I get a file which has data of different countries. So I have UAE. Now there is one thing in this file is all this data is in table format. So if you don't know what is a table format, then in the next video I'm also going to show you how do you convert your data into the table and rename it. So as this is the first video of combining sheet, you understand that this is in a table mode. How I have converted a data into table? By pressing Ctrl T. So I have pressed Ctrl T on this data and have converted it into a table format. First thing is this. So in After converting it in a table format, I have even renamed it. Means I have named the table. So in table design, the name of this table is UAE data. In the same way, you have Egypt, it is also Control T and Egypt data. Oman, you have Oman underscore data. So if you will see the naming of a table, it is name of a sheet and underscore data, means all my sheet table name is ending with underscore data. This is very important point I am emphasizing because it will be used when we will be consolidating it. So let's say you have now 7 sheets and you wish to combine. Very simple. How do we do that? So you can be on any sheet and you should be going to the data tab. So in data tab you will go to the Power Query. So which is a Power Query area? Get and transform data is a Power Query area. So I will go to the get data over here, and in get data you will go here from other sources, and in other sources you have many options from web, from ODBC. Here I will be taking blank query. Here we will be writing our query to combine multiple sheets into one. So get data from other sources and you will click on blank query. As soon as you click on blank query, a Power Query editor will open, and there you will see entire screen as blank, and over here you will type a formula in the formula bar. So this is your formula bar where we will be writing the query. So as soon as I write over here equal, so you have to type equal. Let me press Ctrl Shift plus to zoom in so that you can see clearly. So I say equal and you will type Excel. When you type Excel, automatically this is IntelliSense, which gives you all the options. If you are using the old version, you might not get, but as I am using MS Office 365 version, which is the latest version, so I have in this IntelliSense as well. So when I type EX, it gives me the query's name, which I can use it. So as of now, I just click on it, excel.current workbook, and after that I will open a bracket, and he has closed the bracket on his own. That's all. Put the cursor after this bracket, and remember, this is very important. If you are not having IntelliSense, then you have to write it. So when you write, there is one very important thing, that this is case sensitive. Means what? Means if you type this E in a small letter, if this C in a small letter, or if this W in a small letter, it will not work. So make sure the one which is in capital, you type it in capital. So what this query does is it returns the content of the current Excel workbook. Means whatever is there in this workbook, it will show you. Means like tables, sheets, it will show you that things. So if I come over here and I just have to press enter, and as soon as you press enter, he has searched in my entire workbook and he found there are few tables in this. So I have 7 sheets, and each sheet has a table, and the name of that table has come over here. This you have to understand very thoroughly. If you are not, then you have to repeat this video once again, but make sure you understand. So in my sheet there are tables, and all the table has a name, UAE underscore data. If you see, all the name is ending with underscore data, right? So in case there can be more extra sheets which again might get combined. So I want whenever any sheet is having a table name underscore data, then only that sheet should be combined. So what I will do over here is I will click on this name, that is a drop down of a name column here, and I will say text filter. I will filter, means I am telling Excel that wherever the table name ends with underscore data, you combine only that tables. So I click on text filter and I click on ends with. In ends with, it will open a small dialog box where I can type. So over here I will select basic, it's already selected. Keep rows where name ends with, and over here you can even click on a drop down so you get all this, but I don't want that, so I will just type underscore data. What does it mean, friends, is it will combine only those tables whose end is underscore data, and I will say OK. That's all. So you see what I applied filter, it gave me the step that you have applied the filter on this data. That's all. And now you will click on this 2 arrow. Do you see these 2 arrows over here? You click on it and it will show you all the names of the columns which are available in this table. Lovely. So I will come over here and I will uncheck use original column names as prefix. What it does, it if you keep this on before the name of every country, so it will come content.country, so it adds that table name, this header. So I want to avoid that, so you just say uncheck, so you will get the same name when you combine. So just uncheck it and you just say OK. As soon as you say OK, and you will see some magic. Oh, magic is done. You see all the data has been combined. Let me say Control Shift minus, Control Shift minus, so that it becomes in a normal size. And over here you will see this is a UAE data, this is a Egypt data, this is a Oman data, this is a Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, KSA. All data has been combined and my work is done. And now you can go to the file and you can say close and load. That's all. But wait, I will show you a little bit more detail in this. So let me analyze the data first. So when I go and analyze over here, oh, I can see the last column which is a name, UAE underscore data, Egypt underscore data. So these are the names of the table which has come. I don't need that. So I can just right click on it and I say, hey, remove. So I have just deleted the last column which was not required. So all the steps are coming over here. When I go ahead, I can see there is one more thing, transaction date. Hey, it is not in a correct format. And I can see 00 also over here. So I click on it and I go to the transform and I will change the data type. So here I have a data type and I say convert this into the date. So when I say date, this 0 also will go, which is a timing basically, and my date becomes clear. And do you see this calendar has come? It means it's in a date format. Lovely. Understood, friends? There is one more addition thing which if you want you can do it. That is the adding of the index column. Like over here you have 1 to 10 which was for UAE, and then again Egypt data was for 1 to 10, and then Oman was 1 to 10. So he has put as it was there in the data, but no, I wanted to number it properly. So what you will be doing, you can insert an index column, something new you are going to learn over here. So what I can do over here is I can go to the add column, and in add column, because I want to add a new column, and over here you get index column. So I click on this drop down and you want to start from 0, from 1, or you can define your own. Let's say you want it from 101, it should start as you wish. So I say I want it from 1, and you will see a new column has been added, but that column it added in the right side of the data. So I will just move it. I will right click on the heading and I will say move, and where to move? I wanted to move this column in the beginning. Okay, and it has moved in the beginning. Lovely. So now you see this is 1 to 10 and then it starts with 11, 12, but over here it again is 1 to 3. which was there in my original data. But I don't need now this because I have added the index column. So I will right click on it and I say remove, and my data become clear. So first you combine the data, you deleted the table column which was coming in the end, then we cleared up the date, and then you added the index column. Now all these steps which you have done has come over here. Got it? Even you reordered, means from right side we moved this column ahead and it reordered. It's amazing, means everything is happening smoothly. Now what you will do, now you have to exit from here. So you have to go to file and you have to click on close and load, and I click on close and load, and what it is going to do, it is going to insert a new sheet with all my details as a consolidated sheet. Wow! And he renamed it as query 1, and my all the data is inserted over here. Now this is a flat data, and now you can play with this data. You can create a pivot table, you can apply a sum if, count if formula, you can do calculations on that. Everything can be done on this type of data. In fact, when I come on transaction date and see this is in my correct date format, it means you can do the grouping also in the pivot. I hope you understood this, friends. How do you combine this? What I have done is I have even put a text file for your reference. So over here when I come, I have given a step over here. So you go to the get data from other source, click on blank query, put this query over here which should be perfectly written, means whatever is in capital in capital. So it returns the contents of your workbooks. Then you will go to the name, you click on filter, you can click on contains, or you can just say ends with, select the end with filter underscore data. Okay, now you will double click on that arrow, you will uncheck on the column prefix, and then you can delete the last column, you can change the date type, everything I have given. I have not written index the column, so I will say add index column for numbering, and then you click on file, click on the file and click on close and load. So this will make your life simple in remembering, and make sure you practice it and see the video twice, thrice till the time you understand, and see you in the next video where I will be showing you if your data is not in table mode, then how do you convert into the table mode, rename it to the table, means and change the name of the table, and then again we will do one more time how do you combine it. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. A data which is not in a table mode, it's a normal data. So I have 4 sheets: UAE, Egypt, Oman and Kuwait. So the first step for me will be converting all these 4 sheets into table. There is no shortcut that you can convert all the 4 sheets into the table and give the name. You have to do individually, else you have to write some macro. So I came on the data and I press Ctrl T, T for table. So Ctrl T, OK. And then I went to the table design and I'm giving a name to this table. So I say UAE underscore data. I will just copy underscore data, so paste it for the other sheet. I go to the Egypt. You can even do from here. Go to the insert and say table. Pivot table is different. This is the table. That is Ctrl T. Okay. And I will go over here and I will rename Egypt underscore data and press enter. Go to the Oman, insert, table, OK, and I came over here and I say Oman underscore data. I went to the Kuwait. You can press Ctrl T as well, Ctrl T for table, and over here I say Kuwait underscore data. So the first step is I have renamed all the, not renamed, but I have converted a data into the table and I have renamed the table name. The next step will be, you can be on any sheet, no problem. The first step, now your actual work starts, is the next step over here will be, you will go to the data tab, you will go to the get data, you will go to from other sources, and over here you get one option, blank query. Remember the path, it's in get data, from other sources, blank query. I click on a blank query and my Power Query Editor will open. Here I will write a simple query which will show me the table from my file. So I will say equal, why not I increase it for you so that it becomes very clear. So I say equal, what I have pressed, Control Shift plus to zoom and Control Shift minus to zoom less. So I say over here Excel and I got the option. If you don't get this IntelliSense option, you have to write it, but make sure everything is in capital, whatever is there, like E should be capital, C should be capital, W should be capital. It's a case sensitive. So I say equal excel.current workbook, open a bracket, close a bracket and just press enter. And here this query will show you, these are your tables and these are the names of the table. Now I will tell Excel that if any new sheet is added and if the name is underscore data, that only you combine. So I have to do this one small step. I click on this arrow, text filter, and I say ends with. In ends with I will type underscore data. So keep rows where name ends with underscore data. So wherever it's underscore data is there, it will be filtered, means it will combine only those rows. So that step has come over here. Now what is the next step? Now you will click on this arrow. Can you see this double arrow? You click on it and over here you will see all the names of the column which were there in our data. So if you don't want to pull any column, you can just uncheck it, and over here you will uncheck this setting, use original column name as prefix, otherwise the word content will come before the name of each column. So I don't want that, I just want this same name. So you need to just uncheck this and that's all, and you say okay, and you will see your entire data has been consolidated. I say Control Shift minus and you will see my data has been consolidated. Wow, lovely. Now over here if you want to do more transformation, like over here you have a transaction date where you have a timing as well. So select the column and I say transform, and in transform I go to the data type over here and I say convert this only in date. Wow, and my work is done. That's all. Now you have to exit from this Power Query Editor. Now you have combined. So you go to the file and you click on close and load. That's all. And here you will see a new sheet and your data is there. Wow. Oh, he has added one more extra column, the name of the table. If you just don't want, select and say Control minus or right click and delete, and that's all, and your work is done. Lovely. So this way you can combine multiple sheets into one consolidated sheet so that you can create pivot table or apply some formula. But make sure you first convert all your data into the table, name it properly, and then go to the data and go to the blank query. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood it. Make sure you practice and then go for the next lesson. In this video we have seen we had 4 sheets and we had combined this by typing the query, and my data got combined in this one consolidated sheet and I have 40 rows that were loaded. What if I get a new sheet, or I will create a copy of it to show you the example. So I press Ctrl and I click on this Kuwait and I create a copy and I just move it. And let me rename it as, for example, London. And in the name of the country over here, I will change this to London so that when we combine we know. And what else we will do? Our data is already in table mode, and then I go to the table design and I will change my name, that is the table name. So I make it London underscore data 7 it is. So let's skip underscore data, because in the previous video when we did a filter, if you remember, we have said ends with underscore data. So I have added extra 10 rows. As of now I have 40 rows. What will happen now? Now again I want this data to be added over here in my consolidated sheet. You don't have to do anything. You just have to right click on this data and you have to say refresh. And as soon as you refresh, Power Query will see if there is any extra sheet has been added and it will update the data in this consolidated sheet. So I click on refresh and here you go, and it became 50 rows. And let's see, where is my London? Wow, and my London data is over here. Amazing, lovely. Okay, so if I delete the 2 rows from London, for example, I deleted just 2 rows, what will happen? Oh, I have not deleted this way, I just deleted the data. Let's see the effect. So I say right click and refresh. Wow, so this data is gone, but you see it's showing this because this is in a table mode. So what I had to do was, I will come over here and I delete this and I say Control minus, or I right click and you can say delete the entire row. So now when I go here and when I say right click and refresh, you will see last 2 rows has gone. Hey, what if I add more records? No problem. I copy this and if I paste it over here and I rename this as 9 and 10, and when I go over here and if I say right click and refresh, and my data is back. Is not that interesting? So you just have to add another sheet and say refresh. That's all. So this way you can add the extra sheet or extra data in any of the sheet and just come on the consolidated, right click and you click on refresh. That's all for this video. When I right click on this data, I can say refresh, right? Means whenever I update or delete any data, I can do the refresh. Let's say now I don't want the connection. I don't want when I say right click and it should refresh, I wanted to disconnect it. So here there is an option queries and connection. If you are having this, good. In case if I close this, if you don't have this, don't worry. You have to go to the data tab. This is a data tab and here you click on queries and connection. Now you will just bring your cursor on this area, means no need of clicking, just bring the cursor and on the left hand side you will see this screen and here you get an option delete. From here you can delete the query. This is one way. Or you can even go on the top where it is written query and over here you get an option delete. So anyway, from any of this side you can delete it. So I click on delete and that's all. It will ask you, are you sure you want to delete the query? And it says you, if you delete these queries, any data that was loaded by this query will not be refreshable. It means now refresh option will be disabled. So I click on delete and from here also you will see it has delete. Now it is disconnected. Now if you insert any data, any sheet over here, this is not going to update. So when I say right click on this data, you will see the refresh option has been disabled because there is no queries for the connection. I hope you understood how do you delete the query. Thank you so much and see over here, and I think there are around 13 files over here. of different cities, countries, and I will just open one file and show it to you. So it has this type of data in this. So you have 6 columns in this, and you have name of the city and you have sales data. The name of the sheet is sales. Remember this one thing before combining a file: make sure all the sheet has same structure, means this is a structure, that is a header, and your sheet name should be same. So here again I have renamed it as sales, and again I open a Chennai sheet. So over here I have a name sales. So structure is same and the sheet name has to be same. Now how do you combine it? You just come over here and I say right click and I say copy. So I have just copied the path where all my files are saved in a folder. It can be a desktop or anywhere. You have to go to the data tab and you create a new file over here. This is Excel new file. Go to the data, go to the get data from file, and over here you get an option from folder. It's very interesting option, you will learn. So I click on from folder over here and it will ask me the path. So I will just paste the path and I press enter. And as soon as I press enter, it will search that in that folder how many files are there. It will show you all the files, CSV, XLSX. So in case if you don't want to combine other files, so you have to go over here, that is in the combine, and you say combine and transform data, and then there you can filter and remove .csv and other files. As of now in my folder I have only XLSX file, so I don't have to filter. Neither my structure or I have some messy data, so I don't have to transform. I will just directly combine it because my data seems to be clean. So I click on a combine option over here and I say combine and load that song, and here it is going to give me another dialog box where I have to select a sample file. So sample file, so I click on it and you can select any of the file. Let's select for example Canada. So I select Canada and in that he's saying you have a sheet. So I click on a sheet. As soon as you click on a sheet, on the right hand side it will show you the preview that in this sheet you have this type of data. I just say okay. Here there is one very interesting option, skip files with error. Means if some of your file might have error, you might not have a column name, or there can be some another issue. So you can click on skip files with error, so it will combine other file and will leave that file as it is, and I say okay, and your work is done. As soon as you say okay, it will start processing your queries, and what he is doing, he is checking each and every file and he is combining, and within few seconds, not in a minute, in seconds, you will get all your data in the name combining sheet. Here do you see? Wow, and all the steps he has performed. He has connection, he has transformed the file, and finally he has combined all my data. Okay, so over here you will see he is giving you the name of the file. Over here Abu Dhabi, Canada, Chennai.xls from where he brought the data, and here is the actual data. So I will click on it and I say right click and delete, or you can select the column and say control minus, and your all the data is combined. And now you can create a pivot table on it. You can do sum if, count if, whatever formula you want, you can just apply it. So this way friends, you can combine multiple files into one combining sheet. Thank you so much. Make sure you open the practice file, combine on your own, and see the magic of Power Query. See, this was my file which we combined in the last video. Abu Dhabi, Canada, Chennai, Dubai, all these files were combined. And this was my folder in which all my Excel files were there. So what I am doing now is I am selecting any one of the file. Let me select Dubai file. I say copy and I just paste it down, and I will rename this file with any of the another city name which is not here, or any country. Let's say I type Oman, and I open this file, and I will also change the name over here. Let's say Oman. Oman is a country, but as I need a structure same, so I'm just putting the name city, and the sheet name is sales. That's all. So let's say you have got a new file. Now how many rows are there? 116, 116, right? And there is no Oman data in this file. Now do you want me to show you the magic? I will just right click and I will say refresh, and you will see Oman data has been added. Now it became 124, and let me see where is my Oman data. And here you go, my Oman data has been added over here. So after Mumbai, Oman, and then Pune, because he has took the sequence of the name of the files. So MNOP, something like this. So you have Mumbai, Mumbai file, Oman, Oman file, Pune, Pune file. So it's not that interesting. So if you add any extra file over here, you need not worry. You just have to refresh on your sheets. Thank you so much. Our Excel sheet in which I have a transaction date and another is my delivery date. So these are my two dates column. The challenge over here is both are not in a correct date format. So when I come over here, you see this is a text. And when I come over here, it says general. And one more interesting thing I will show you. When I come on this date, and if I say, for example, filter, and when I click on it, you will see all the dates over here. Whereas if you have an idea about the correct date, then it should actually show you 2010, and under that it should show you Jan, Feb and March. So this is a not correct date format because it's not grouping the date. Same way when I come on the delivery date, and again here it gives me this way, whereas what it should do, it should group it. Here I should get 2020, and in that Jan, Feb and March. That is the right date formats. So let's see how do you convert this into a correct date format using Power Query in just on a click of a button. So I will just put my cursor anywhere inside the data, and I will go to the data tab. In data tab, you will go to the from table. This is the option where you have get and transform data. I click on it, and this will get converted into a table format now, and you will just say okay, means he is creating a table. My table has a header, yes, your table has a header, so enable it and just say okay, and you will see a Power Query screen is going to open. So your Power Query screen has opened, and what I can see here is he has already applied 2 steps, means he sourced and then automatically he did change type. What does it mean? You know, when Power Query got opened, he checked all the column and he converted the data type of each column according to his knowledge. So he found this column was in a date, I think. Then what he did, he converted that into the date. And do you see this over here? It means you have not changed data type, but still Power Query did on his own. So if you observe it clearly, when I come on change type, over here you see transaction date, type date. When I come on delivery date, and do you see this icon, it means it's in a date format now. So delivery date, where is my delivery date? Here, and again it's in a date format. So when I click on it, it shows okay, so this is my date. So amazing, he did on his own. It means you don't have to do anything now. You just have to go to file and you say close and exit. You remember this delivery date, how it was looking like? Let me show you. So it was looking something like this. Something like this. Delivery date, Jan, Phi, comma. Yes, converted into a perfect format. So you just have to go to file and say close and load. and your work is done. Your date format is corrected. But let's say he does not do that due to any reason. So I come over here and I remove this step which Power Query has done for me. I remove this step, and now you will see this transaction date is ABC123 and this delivery date is ABC123. Let me say Ctrl Shift plus to zoom. Now you can see it. Okay, so now if I have this way, and let's say if Power Query didn't applied, how do you change it now? So you just have to click on this date and you observe this, it is going to change. You will go to the transform tab and there is an option data type. Any? No. Okay, you can even click on detect data type, so automatically it will find the correct data type and will convert. As of now I just wanted to show you this option, so I click on this and here you get lots of options. So I click on the date option over here and this will convert. You see it has come on the right hand side, and over here you got this date icon. Lovely, it's easy. I click on delivery date over here. You see how messed is this date. Again I click on data type and I say hey, convert it into the date, and it converted into the date. That's all, and he created a change type. That's all. Now I wanted to exit from the Power Query, right? So you will click on file, and you know in the previous lesson I have explained you close and load, and as soon as you click on it you will get a new sheet over here where you will have a correct date. Want to see if it is a correct or no? Let me show you now. When I click on this filter over here, you see it has come perfectly. 2021, 2020, 2019. Even on delivery date when I come over here, I get perfectly 2020, and under that Jan, Feb and March, and under that you have dates. Excellent. Was that very simple? So this was your wrong date format. This was your wrong date format, and how in a simple, just on a click of a button, we have converted and fixes our date format. Thank you so much. Like this, and in which I wanted to get a count. Like for example, in all the 4 rows I have hard disk, hard disk, hard disk and hard disk. So I want 4 count of hard disk. Here there is a laptop, over here I have a laptop, and over here I have a laptop. So I want to count this. How do you do that? So if you will think how do you do this in Excel, it's really very challenging, because you will say, Ramzan, I will separate on the basis of text, but it will come over something like this. Then for each row you have to do the transpose, which is going to take lots of time. And you think if you have more number of rows, it's going to take lots of time. With Power Query, you can just do on a click of a button. So what will be the first step? Put your cursor inside the data, go to the data tab, and over here you get an option from table. I click on it and it will ask me that he is going to convert this data into the table. Just say OK. Make sure your my table as header is on, is checked, because in my data I have a header, and I say OK. As soon as I say OK, a Power Query editor has opened. So if you will see on the top, it is written Power Query editor. You want to know how do you zoom this? You say Ctrl Shift plus and it will zoom. Let's zoom it a little bit more. Lovely. So now I have this data, and you see how I will separate on the basis of comma as a delimiter, and all this will come in separate rows, so that I can easily create pivot table on that, or can use a count if formula. So I will select the product column over here. I clicked on it and I will go to transform. This is a transform tab, and over here you get an option split, because I want to split, but on 2 things. one is on the basis of comma and another it should split in every row it should move the data. So I go over here by delimiter and it will ask me, hey, on what basis you wanted to split. So let me move this over here. So over here he is asking me select or enter delimiter. So delimiter means divider. So here I have comma as a divider. So I click on a drop down of it and I say comma. Okay, split at each occurrence means wherever he find the comma you split that on each occurrence means wherever he is occurring the comma split from that. And then over here you will go to the advanced option. This is very important, friends. Click on this arrow of this and it will open advanced. So you want to split in columns? No, you want to split in rows. So you will click on rows. Amazing. And you just say okay and you will see some magic and it has been converted. Wow. So here he has recorded that you split it by delimiter, then he did the change type 1. Okay, so I will come over here in the file and again I want to exit. So you can click on close and exit, so it will create a new sheet. Or if you want, you already have one sheet and in that if you want to paste, you can paste it over there in a new sheet. So I will click on close and load over here. So now you will see a new sheet will be added over here and wow, your data is ready. Now you will go to the insert, click on a pivot table and existing sheet. This you know, I am just showing you this something extra for the pivot part and I will say this is my product and again you will put the product over here. So you will come to know, oh, hard disk is 4 times, laptop is 3 times. Amazing. Got the solution? Was that easy? Now it's your time to practice. Thank you so much. And which is little bit messy, and the problem over here is this is in a merge cell. Over here you have different lines, but this is in one cell. And again you have TV and 1000 in one column. So I want to convert this data into a clean data, something like this. Why? So that I can use a pivot table and other formulas on that. On this type of data, how you will use pivot? How you will apply the formula? It's not possible. So you have to clean it. How do you do the cleaning? With the help of Power Query. Let's start. So the first step is you will click on the data tab and over here you will click on from table range and here you will say OK. A Power Query editor will open wherein you can transform your data, means you can clean your data. Let me zoom it, Control Shift plus, Control Shift plus. So it zooms. Then I will click on a product purchase and what I have to do is I have to go to the split. So first I can go to the transform also. In that also you have an option. So I click on split. And if you would have seen my previous video, in that also we had cleaned the data by using delimiter. But here we will be going in more detail. So I will go to the option by delimiter. It will open this screen. Here you will click and you will say custom. So here your delimiter will be custom first. And over here in advanced you will go and you will say, hey, divide by split into different rows. And over here you will click on split using special characters. And over here what you will select? You will select line feed because it's on a different line in one cell. So I click over here custom And as soon as I select line feed, automatically here I got LF, that is line feed. You don't have to type it manually, you just select from there and it comes over here. Remember, in advanced option you need to select the rows, and I just say OK, and wow, you will see the data has been filled. So this Ramzan David Raj was having a merge cell, now he has filled. What else he did was TV 1000, mirror 2000, mobile 3000. He has created this all in different rows. Still I have one more challenge. Now still I can't use a pivot because TV and 1000 is still in same column. I need a separate column for that. So again I click on product purchase, split column, and I say same by delimiter. Again I will repeat that step, but here I will not do in detail, means at advanced level, because I just want to split to column. And wow, Excel has took on his own that your delimiter can be a colon, and here it is a colon. Wow. And I just say OK, and okay, in advanced option when I go, it should be column because TV should come in one column, 1000, 2000 should come in another column. Hence, you have to select columns. By default, it is selected. So I say OK, and you will see it has converted. Looks nice. This is your clean data. Now, how do you exit from here? You will go to the File tab and you click on Close and Load. And you will see a new sheet will be created. And over here you have a clean data. Lovely. Now on this data you can go and you can insert your pivot table, which I hope you already know how do you create a pivot table. So if I want, for example, client wise total sales, so I say client wise total sales. I copy this pivot, I paste it down. I want product wise, so I say product wise. So this is one extra option which I have just shown you for the pivot. So after cleaning a messy data which was looking something like this, you converted this data with the help of Power Query, you made it clean, and on that you generated a report. This is actually cleaning data and working with Power Query. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you open this file, practice it once, twice, thrice, till the time you become expert in this, and see you in the next video. Data in which I have names of the countries over here. So if I come on Algeria and if I select all the countries, I can see there are around 40 countries, and same countries are on the right hand side in the column as well. So if you understand the data here, it is a free trade agreement data. So with Algeria, Argentina says yes, Belgium says yes, Brazil says yes, Canada, Chile and Colombia says yes. So like this, many countries have free trade agreement with other countries. So those where it is written Y, it means yes, they have a free trade agreement. And with Algeria, this country, Egypt, said no, we don't have a free trade agreement with you. So here my intention is to create an interesting report for my management which should show something like this. So I wanted to know, okay, with UAE, Georgia said yes, we can have a free trade agreement with you. KSA said we will have a free trade agreement with you. So with UAE, these two countries said we will have a free trade agreement. So this is just a random data, friends. It's not the actual FTA, remember. So again with Algeria, this many countries said okay, we will have a free trade agreement with you. With Belgium, this many 11 countries said. So it's almost something like this. So how do you achieve this report on the basis of this raw data? Now with this type of data, it's very challenging. So here there is a concept with the name unpivot. So what happens when you unpivot is it explores, means for each record it will create a row. So something like this. So when I come over here, so you will see over here, like for Algeria, you have so many countries which said yes. So here there were zeros also, which I have already filtered. So how do you convert this data by doing unpivot into row wise data, so that on that easily I can create a pivot table and generate a report. So if you have really understood this concept, what I am trying to say, you will learn something very new thing in Power Query. I want you to pay the attention so that you can understand each step. So let's get started, friends. So I have a file over here in which I have a data. So 40 countries over here and 40 countries over here. So many countries said 0, many countries says yes. Let's see how do we do that. The first step, you will put a cursor anywhere inside the data and you will go to the data tab, and here you get an option from table range. I will click on it and it will ask me to create a table. He will create on his own. My table has a header, yes, and I say OK. And you will see a Power Query editor is opening. And your Power Query editor has opened. So you see here it is written Power Query editor. Now what I will be doing is, there are two methods, friend. One is you select this first country, go to the transform tab. This is a transform, and over here you get an option. Click on the arrow and say unpivot other columns, means except this first column there are other columns you unpivoted. What does it will do? It will create each row for each country, means it will convert this data into a flat data. Or you can select all this country like this. I click and I say shift like this, you will select all the countries, and then you can click on unpivot columns. But I will prefer doing the first way because there are many countries over here, so why unnecessary to waste the time. So just click on a country and I go to the transform and I say click over here on a drop down and I say Excel unpivot other column. So all the right side 40 column will be unpivot, means it will come in the row wise. So let's see how it look like. You just click and that's all, your work is done. See, he has done unpivoted. So all the Algeria. So Algeria now has come 40 times over here for each country. Some 0 and some say yes. Now when I take my report, I want only yes, because again in pivot I have to do the filter. So here I will come on values, I click on a drop down over here and I will uncheck 0 because I just need only Y, the country which said yes, and I say OK. So now with Algeria, these are the countries which say yes, we can have a free trade agreement with you. With Argentina, this many countries said we can have a FTA with you. Simple. Now what you will do? You will go to the file tab and you click on close and load. And that's all. And you will see in few seconds a new sheet will be added over here and you get all the values. Wow. So this is something very interesting data which we have got it. Now on this data you can easily create a pivot table. Let me show you that as well. So I go to the insert, I say pivot table, I say existing sheet, I click a selection of a cell and I say OK. So I will take a country over here. So these are the names of all my countries has come. Then under that, this is an attribute. So you can actually change the column name. I didn't change. So under that again I need attribute, but hey, I don't need attribute over here. I need that in a next column. So let me do it afterwards, and again I say value over here. So now what you will do, you will have to go to design because this does not look good. So you go to the report layout and say show in tabular form, and wow, it has come something like this, but again it's not looking good because here there is a subtotal. So I will right click on it and I say uncheck subtotal. I don't want to see the subtotal. Wow, it looks good, but hey, I need the number that with UAE, 2 countries said we will have a free trade agreement. So I take the value and put it under the value area over here, and here you go. Does it looks interesting? Yeah. So with UAE, these are the 2 countries which says yes. With Algeria, 11 countries says we can have a free trade agreement, and like this it goes on. Okay. With France, these are the 4 countries said okay, we can have a free trade agreement. So did you understood, friends? This was a complex data and how we use unpivot option, and we converted this data into the row wise for each country. Then we filtered the 0 out, and on that we created a nice looking pivot report. This was all about cleaning the data and making your messy data in a beautiful, nice looking report for your management. Thank you so much.